Ron here for Terrible Terrible Damage, along with my co-caster, Yarko.
Hello there.
And we're on Daybreak to bring you a TVZ. First, in the bottom left, our blue Zerg, wsProRH. And in the upper right, what looks to be our orange Terran.
Sounds good to me.
He is Hosdank. So these will be some fun names to say, and I even remembered to put up that thingy at the top that shows the players' names and supplies. How
Excellent.
considerate of me. So we see what for. Obviously the wall off for the Terran, and will probably be the hatch first from the Zerg.
Hosdank actually did kind of a weird scout there. He went outside of his base. What was that all about? Seems kind of soon, like the Zerg couldn't possibly have been there in time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't see any benefit to scouting that early with that. I mean, you wouldn't... I have actually once seen in a professional game a player actually proxy hatch in ZVT. Now this would because I forget who exactly was playing, but basically both players, whoever lost, like it didn't matter. Either player would continue on in the tournament, but the loser, the winner would face Gamanya Sen, who's considered one of the best foreign Zergs. And the loser would play somebody else, so they both wanted to lose, but they would just throw the game. So we had a game that was casted by Total Biscuit, so it's somewhere on his channel, where we had Proxy Hatch Spine Crawler Rush against Fast Battle Cruiser. So maybe he was afraid of that. Maybe that's the meta game now.
Always that risk.
So we do have standard play so far. We do actually have a gas out of Hosdank. Now that is actually slightly less common. That used to be the go-to opener in TVZ. You get that gas, you get your reactor, you get your factory, you get your reactor, you swap it out with the factory, you get some Hellions, you deny creep, you deny the third. That's what you do. But since this most recent patch change with the +2 clean range made it a little less effective with the Hellions, and a lot more players are going for a bit later Hellions and just instead opting for the 1-racks fast expand. But Hosdank having none of that.
Nope, and we see the Zerg just being a bit annoying here, going for that gas steal. Not much else going on, kind of a standard game so far.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of Zergs going for that gas steal if they're trapped in the main. If that wall off completes before the drone gets out, it only costs them 25 minerals to take that gas, because you're going to lose the drone either way. And taking that gas denies any potential for Banshee play, particularly cloaked Banshee play. It really hurts that kind of push.
And we just see Hosdank building an expansion here on the high ground. Probably going to see obviously some Hellion harass and then expand behind that.
Okay, actually, checking here the Overlord speed, 0.47. This is actually a replay pre-patch.
Is it? Okay.
So that is why we're seeing this reactor Hellion. I mean, he could still do it now. It's not like it's completely obsolete. But that makes more sense why we're seeing the Spine Crawler out of wsProRH. as opposed to 4 Queens, which is becoming more standard. So some good old classic action here. Denying a creep tumor with those Hellions. They are doing their job already. Two more being
on the way.
And Hosdank will stop with just the 4. That is typical with that opener, dropping that expansion onto the low ground.
Yeah, and actually starting a 3rd expansion as well.
Now the Hellions, they could run up the ramp. There isn't anything actually preventing them other than taking a pot shot from that Spine Crawler, but it's always dangerous to do the run by. You do not want to lose these Hellions. They are very important for denying that creep, and and you run the risk of just running into a few links, trapping you up there, and losing all of them.
Yep, and wsProRH now putting down his Roach War and is taking both his gas, so gonna see some roaches soon.
Yeah, to deal with those Hellings, either pretty much go with getting a few roaches out or waiting until you get Lair and Aspire up. Otherwise, you can build a ton of Lings, which is larva expensive, but you can do it a little quicker and without spending gas. So you gotta pick one of those routes. And looks like wsProRH will be going for the roaches. We'll see how many he makes, and if he turns it into a big push, or just going to scare him away to take a third.
Yep, and see Hosdank just starting his siege tank research right now. Seems, I guess it's an alright time because he does have them kind of pinned back, so he doesn't need that right away.
Yeah, we actually have double Evo Chamber here coming out from ProRH, so that typically indicates an Infestor Ling style in the mid-game, as opposed to a Muta opener, as usually you invest as much gas as you can into those Mutas and delay the upgrades just a bit.
Yeah, and we see Lair now morphing as well as that the extra base in his main base now finishing as well.
Now the thing here that we're missing is any sort of Baneling nest out of ProRH. The typical push timing for Terran is around 10 minutes.
So, yeah, especially with this Marine tank composition, it wouldn't hurt certainly, yeah.
Yeah, without an overly large Marine count, it doesn't matter as much. But these upgrades will not complete in time. They take 160 seconds to complete, so we got another minute and a half before these complete. So if he does do a push out, he won't have the upgrades and he won't have Banelings.
And wsProRH now taking that third base as well. One base ahead of his opponent, as most Zergs would be, but actually Hosdank now floating his base over as well, so they're going to be even on bases quite shortly.
This Zergling going to sneak in and actually stop right up on the ramp. Gets a scout on the army. But Hosdank just going to be looking to take a third, being very passive here. Now moves down towards the fourth location. Not sure what he is planning. Meantime, ProRH has finished his third. And just a bit of posturing going on.
And we do see the infestation pit about to finish as well. What do you think his next move is going to be in terms of his tech?
Well, first and foremost, he's going to have to get out some infestors. That's going to eat up a lot of his gas. You can actually go either route in terms of hive tech with this composition. Since you're going for the upgrade heavy, that lets you go in for those ultralisks. They can actually be cost efficient if you have the infestor backup and all of the upgrades. But sometimes you'll just see them go in for the Broodlords as the more popular hive tech unit, as it's more easy to be cost effective with them. But that's a ways off. You can't really risk going right into that lest you just die to a push because you don't have any sort of area of effect damage to take out bio.
Yeah, we see Hosdank in the middle of the map just sieging up now, getting ready for possibly the Zergling run by or something like that. Nice spacing on the tanks.
Yeah, a good spread, but I feel Hosdank is playing a bit risky. He doesn't really have an idea of the unit count from ProRH. So if ProRH just went in with a huge mass of 2/2 Lings, he could actually kill this entire army right now.
Yeah, or he could just run up along that top there and completely bypass those siege tanks as well.
Yeah, that's a bit riskier though. You never know if there's some Marines hanging back there and they'll have to be trapped.
However, it looks like he's going for a drop now as well, with the medevac headed towards the top there.
Yeah, a single medevac drop. The waypoint is actually going to miss that fourth going up. If it did see that, he could deny that, but will it be within vision? it is just barely within vision, so he could drop and deny that. And a whole bunch of drones going over. He could get a very nice catch here. But the Zergling's not all that far off. And he will have to pick up and get out of here. There's the pickup, not losing too much. Of a good response there from wsProRH.
And decides to go back to the third base, it looks like, as well. So maybe some more harassment. Oh, then back to the fourth. Just kind of dancing back and forth between those bases.
Yet not even leaving anything there. They have an odd choice. The fourth just floating there for Hosdank during all of this. And here come the drones again, walking right back into these Marines. Loses 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Clears out that whole drone line. And these Marines are in good position, but will now pick up as the Lynx start to get a surround. So very good there for Hosdank. Looking at very good position. 172 supply to 145.
Yep, 2,400 units lost for wsPro versus only 500 for Hosdank. So certainly a good start for him so far.
Yet 20 workers killed in this game. But amazingly, ProRH up to 90 drones despite that.
But we do see ground carapace level 3 as well as Shipness plating now finishing. Looks like he's going to be going for a little bit of everything. He's got an ultralisk cabin building as well as a mutalisk Spire, so
yeah,
not sure what we're going to see next.
The Spire will allow him to transition into Broodlords after he gets out and does his damage with those ultralisks. Now here comes the scary push. Coming in at 16 minutes. He needs to be very careful here, walking unsieged on creep, all clumped up. That is, if the Infestor on the high ground, oh man. Big fungus there, catches more than half of the Marine Army, loses a lot of Infestors. So, not sure if that was the best trade for ProRH. He did kill a lot of Marines there.
Yeah, it really hurt both players there, so looks like they didn't come out of it either. All gonna run those Zerglings right into the tanks.
Nope, not enough there, and that will survive again, but this waves of units will eventually take these out.
Those tanks go down, and the Infestatorians are gonna clean that up, it looks like.
Nope, not quite. No. These Marines are at 2-1. Takes out 3 Overlords. That's so annoying to lose those. Just 4 Infestors left. That hurts a lot.
175 to 157 supply, so it's still not too bad, but...
Yeah, those Infestors being energy units, they just become more and more cost efficient the longer you use them, so if you lose them quickly, that really hurts. A group of Marines not even dropping, just running in up here towards the 4th.
Yep, stims up, takes out the Aurora, it's going to take down that Spine Crawler, and then they'll go for those... Oh, getting this round from the Zerglings, so...
Yeah, picks those off. Ultra's on the way, and they'll clean up this. Picks up the Marines, but loses the tanks. 8 Ultras on the way. Greater Spire more than halfway done. Supply about even, but I don't really see the tech here out of Hosdank to combat this very good composition out of ProRH.
Yeah, you just see him put down, it looks like his 5th base there, and there's quite a big Zerg army headed right towards it, so it looks like he's aware of that.
Yep, moves in here on that 5th base. A bad rally there, almost loses his Infestors. A scan will pick off 2 more Infestors. He's actually going to have to pick up on that Infestor count here.
And we're going to see the Zerg player just overrun the space here, it looks like. But there's quite a few Marines there.
Yeah, this may be an overextension here from ProRH, as Hosdank has so many units here, and the Planetary holding up long enough to do its damage, and it will survive the entire army going down there. 4 more Ultralisks on the way. And this game shows no sign of stopping at the 21-minute mark.
And seeing quite good creep spread almost halfway across the map there, so certainly Missouri didn't see anything else coming. Should be connecting to that 5th bit, though there's a bit of missing creep there. So.
Yeah, there are the 4 Ultralisks coming out because Pro needs those units on the field to defend against any sort of counter push after losing all of those units, but he is preparing for that Broodlord switch. His Greater Spire is done. He's getting a 2nd Spire for double upgrades, getting that +1 flyer attacks.
Yeah, it looks like another big drop coming here for Hosdank, and see if he can even out that worker count. Currently Missouri with almost double the income, or at least double the workers anyways, yeah.
And gets twice as much for his money there while attacking that 5th base and taking a bunch of SCVs. He spots the drop, but doesn't seem to recognize that it's moving into his main. And these drops in the main can do so much, as this is where much of the tech is often situated. However, the actual Greater Spire and Ultralisk Cavern are all in the natural, so the only thing here to pick off would be that Infestation Pit and Roach Warren. The Roach Warren not even being really used. And really only takes out a Spine Crawler there. Not a worthwhile trade for
Yeah, but another big drop going on. It's middle base. He's going to lose that.
Yeah, and a move up to that 4th. Takes out the 4th in the upper left. And at the 3rd, a double medevac drop. Tasking Pro's multitasking abilities to their fullest extent with the 3-2 bio focusing down the hatch and will get out of there. Remember, there aren't as many infestors on the field as there could be. He does catch them though. They are in place. The fungal and infested pairs take out those 2 medevacs, so he does get the bio at least, but they did their job. They took out that 3rd.
Yeah, and now those Ultralisks and the infestors moving across the map look like a big counterattack coming here.
The Ultras cannot attack into this choke. This is a horrible position with no support, but he's all clumped up. Oh, no fungal goes down. There's a fungal. Doesn't catch all that many units, though.
Too many Marines there to break through.
Hosdank has to be very careful. He's leaving his units clumped up. That could be very dangerous with those fungal growths.
Now we see Broodlords starting to get churned out. Looks like 4 of them out so far, 3 more on the way. And as well as 3 more Corruptors, so quite a large air army going to be here for our Zerg player.
Yeah, we have 4 Vikings on the field, but actually cannot build any more as Hosdank is maxed. He does have 67 SCVs on the field though, so this is about the time where you start building orbitals and start sacking SCVs, as Terran wants more army supply.
And he loses a bit in the way of Broodlords to his Marines there, but yeah, the Ultras coming to clean it up.
Still got 5 on the field. We've got a big drop in the main once again. I'm surprised that he's dropping in the main, since he didn't seem to see any tech the first time he dropped there. An empty medevac goes up to the upper left.
Yeah, and in the middle of the map you see Vikings making short works of those Broodlords. Looks like many of those are almost all gone.
Yeah,
so.
they're just getting picked off. Some infested Terrans go down.
Trying to target down that planetary fortress, but just not going to get through with that repair on it.
Yeah, not being the most cost-effective here. As Forum moves into the center and loses all of its high-tech units. Supply evening up again. And this is the point that I start to really favor the Terran's position. If he can just snipe bases with his bio, Terran only actually really needs 1 base mining, especially once he's on a very mule-heavy economy. You don't need to mine anywhere else because there's no such thing as saturation with mules. More broods morphing in to replace his fallen brethren. There are already 6 Vikings on the field. So it's very difficult to decide a real path here.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a run by on that 5th base in the bottom right, but it gets immediately lifted up.
Yeah, there's no planetary built there. Just sitting idly, not even an orbital either. So, bit of a weird decision, bit of an oversight there. Looked like that Automaton 2000 was getting in position to deny that base. It's actually morphing that command center, I think, slightly out of position. A triple medevac drop going back into the main. Wants that hive.
As well as a big push going up to that top base as well.
Yeah, he does have the supply advantage. I think the actual push at the top is actually the more important one. The spawning pool isn't expensive, and he doesn't need lings all that much at the moment. His important tech is that it's natural. But if he doesn't respond to it at all, that could be a problem. He does lose the base at the upper left. The stim down.
And that big air army in the middle of the map looks like he's going to try and counterattack, but I don't think he's going to do it in time.
Pro now finally moving out in response. Loses his natural. Oh!
So many Vikings.
Hosdank doesn't actually pick off any of the key tech structures. Doesn't get the Greater Spire. Doesn't get the Ultralis Cavern. And is moving back potentially to defend. In the meantime, the big battle in the center. There just aren't enough units here to defend for Hosdank, at least not in this initial push. He takes out the one mining base in the middle, and really only has that almost nearly mined out 3rd, which could go down if he doesn't clean up these marauders. The planetary goes down in the middle, but there is still the planetary in the bottom right 5th base position. He actually has mining left at his natural, amazingly.
Yep, no income really left for the Zerg at this point.
And the 3rd base goes down, 169 supply to 103, and Hosdank is in a position to take this.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too little, too late for a Zerg player here.
What Zerg needs to consider doing here is he could potentially win a straight-up engagement, and he does have enough minerals for a hatchery. So if he can get a drone into position with his army to build a hatchery, potentially he could try and come back from there, but it's a really, really tall order at this point, especially when there's
with those. Yeah. With the speed of the broodlords as well, it'd be so hard to get back across the map in time, and now all his tech structure is gone. Nothing really left except for some extractors at this point.
Yeah, that kind of tactic works a bit better if you know your opponent is in the same position as you economically, but Hosdank is still mining quite well at that 5th base. Whole lot of units sitting here in the main. I think he could have picked a better position to engage with.
Bongo.
He's gonna clean that all up. ProRH tried to hide a hatch in the bottom left, but it gets taken out as well. And what base? There is one. He's being revealed. There is one assimilator left, and that's it. Cleans out all the bases, and Hosdank takes it.